Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to my new time. I am just checking things out and seeing how things are going and all that good stuff. Hope everyone's had a good week. Waiting for people to catch up here. And I'm just cutting out some circle or some hearts while I'm waiting. I got a brand new Impress this week, Junior, Mini, whatever they're called. Super excited, other than the fact that, when you cut in the first time and you get those cuts, it's not the funnest. Hi, Pam. Hi, Luann. Hi, Mama. I'm sorry it's your bedtime, Pam. You can listen to me while you fall asleep. How's that sound? Put the timer on for an hour and it will go off and all that good stuff. I'll try not to run over. Hi, Jay. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Easies. Hi. I know I had Mom on here, but I think it said twice. Maybe you popped on a different way? Could have swore I saw it there. Yes. It says it's weird because it says you're twice different times, Mama. That's it, right? All right. Well, let's get started, you guys. I was just cutting out some things. I almost forgot I had to go live. So welcome to my new time. This time will work out so much easier for me. Hi, Miss Karen. I don't have to rush as much on Friday nights to get done and all that good stuff. So I've got some of the new release here, some of the consumables that are out. So we're going to play with those again. I know, Sandy, I love it too. Other than, like I said, I want to go over to my desk. Let's go to my desk. Hi, Kate. Hello, visit with your sister. It's okay. You can always watch the replay if you want, unless your sister's interested. When you cut into your plates the first time, saddens me. That's okay. Anyway, all right. So I have this almost finished. I just sent this off I gave copies of this to the design team this week, or the inspiration team this week. I was glad that there was another one, and I added the cream glitter stock, but I only pulled this out because I wanted to show you one of the reasons why can be helpful is that we're going to use this tonight. What we're going to use, we're going to do some foiling. I was inspired by Walter and Sean last night to grab some acetate and some foil. So we're going to foil. And I've got the red static. Ooh, Pam, that's awesome. Enjoy it. I do want to say the links in the description box are affiliate links, which just means if you click on one of those links and place an order, I get a small little kickback from that. It doesn't cost you anything extra. Oh, Jay, I am the inspiration team leader. Yes, I have been for 2 years now. I try to do my best to help everybody out. I'm a big teacher helper kind of person. In the description box, oh, Jay, I'm pretty lazy to swatch too. Trust me. This is something brand new for me. I labeled this as red sketch in the description and it wouldn't let me fix it. So it is the red static. I say that too. And I started doing it when I started taking classes. When I started taking classes like the SCT classes, and people always wanted what ink matches with this and what ink matches with that, I started stamping out at least my Simon Hurley inks, because then I would know. And then the last year or so, when Christopher came out with all these other, Christopher has all of these fun little downloads on the website that you can use, that it found for me that it's very helpful that if somebody wants to, I can show you what the colors are. So I do try to swatch everything out going forward. But, oh yeah, no. Cleaning up your craft desk is almost a daily thing, right? Okay, let's get back to what we were using. I'm going to pull in a sentiment from the Super Sentimental. I always get them mixed up. Which one's Super? I'm pretty sure this is Super Sentimental. Because these are my two oldest stamp sets. Yes, Super Sentimental. We're going to do the Scent with Love. Used that last week. And then we're going to, I did pull these in, but I don't know if we're going to use this. Let's pull this out of the way. We're going to use the Creative Cards and I don't remember what this is card, the acetate. What's the exact name? Is it on the back here? Which, if it's Heart Attack, Forgive me for the name of that if somebody else knows. Oh, yes. I very much love the new foam pads. You're correct on that. So we're going to use this tonight. And then I did pull this. But what I was going to say about the reason why I have that pulled is that this is the helpful reason. So if I pull these creative cards, I can come down here and I can say, do I want to use Mason or do I want to use Heirloom Tomato when I go through here? Or let's find one quick here. These probably aren't going to be because they're going to be more reddy colored. But like this one, let's say this one has the blue. Oh, here, this is a good one. So we've got the blue and the sky. So do I want to match it more with the sky or do I want to go with a more deep color? Or same thing with this house. Does it match more with cream corn or lemonade? So that is one of the reasons why it works. Yeah, everyone is just, and that's actually, Sandy, how I'm doing mine now. I have the swatch. I had those swatch guides, but going forward, I'm doing the 2x2s like you have there because I can move them in and out with the different things. Same thing with all the aqua pigments and stuff. So, but that way I can like move them if I want. Right now I'm trying to keep them in order with their release. But that is the reason why I started kind of swatching. Mason is one of my favorites and I haven't even used it yet. And I know Heirloom Tomato is going to be a very fast favorite of mine. So, all right, let's get to crafting. I'm going to move that stuff behind me. We're going to start with some foiling. We're going to make my daughter a card tonight. Oh, Pam, I am in love with these little things. I just love them. They're just so cute. And this one just reminds me of my daughter. My mom's watching and she probably agrees with me because my daughter loves the color black. And she lives in Florida. You know, black's not normally a color you wear in black a lot. But this little crow back here, and she just kind of reminds me of a Gothic. She's so into Halloween, all this. So I'm going to use this as my inspiration piece to make her a Valentine card, but more of a I miss you card, happy mail card. So I don't know if she watches my live. So if she is, I'm going to tell you, Haley, turn it off right now. You can't watch. So, yep, pastes and glaze. Yep, the 2x2, it's fabulous. So all I did is, I'm not going to cut this on screen, is I cut it in half and then I cut it down to 4 panels. And I am going to use this one. This one. It's kind of hard to see. Here, let me see. This one. I have one done, but I want to show you a little fun thing I found last night. So let's get this ready to go. I should have heated this up at the time. I'm going to get my fuse ready here. Oh, it's stuck under my chair. All right, let's get my fuse warming up here. And I don't have a carrier. I just have this right now. Oh, Valentine cats. Christmas cats. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there'll be some other cats. Who knows? You never know what comes up in Christopher's head. You know, they come by real fast. He was sharing some stuff with us today, and I was like, please tell me there's going to be this. And he's like, well, I didn't think about it, but we can maybe do that. And I'm like, oh, please. So I'm going to grab a piece of this red static, and I am going to cut on my glass mat. I have no worries about doing that. I have this little, we used to have these in the store. I don't know if they are anymore, but I just like to have a little rotary trimmer, and I'm just going to trim this down. Now, I did try cutting this last night on a mat, a resealable mat. Let's see if I can do this right. And it didn't like my cutting. I don't care if it's not straight. So much. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just don't want to have too much extra. I don't mind cutting on my glass mat because I have the little, there's some Nuvo kind of stuff you can get. My Sweet Petunia sells it to kind of get the mucks out of the scratches out of your Misty, and I know it works on here too. So yes, the vintage Valentine washi. I have not used that yet. So we may, if we have extra time, play with that tonight too. So while that's warming up, I've got that all ready to go. And I'm just using, this is just a piece of parchment paper because my carrier sheet is somewhere around here. I also pulled in some ruby glitter stock, which I already did one little die cut. And then, and just in full disclosure, I went through my stash and I pulled all sorts of heart dies. A couple of these are from Heffy Doodle. They're no longer, I just regular basic hearts. I haven't cut a bunch out, but that was my goal, is in case I need some extra hearts, I just grabbed those. And then I also did grab the Happy Threads because I love the stamp set and I haven't used it yet. I just haven't had time. So we may use the hearts in this one. This is from last month's release. So, okay, everything's warmed up here. Let's get this through. I wanted to show you a little fun thing I did yesterday with this. And while that's feeding through, I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock. This is just a piece of white card. Oh, this might be, okay. Yep, this might be Not Your Mama's. I think it is. It could be Solar Crust Crust. It's just very, very thick cardstock. It's just a scrap I have cut. I just got your 70% off. Open that up. Work is, yeah, I know work is so inconvenient sometimes. I didn't misplace it, Pam. It's just very dirty. And so I just didn't get it out. But I have seen that too, putting some heat resistant tape on it. You have heart donuts. I really like using it. You know, that's always too. Yes, they're good. These are awesome. Use them in frames and creative phrase also. Yes, the marquee sentiments. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And I'm going to unplug it so I don't forget. I don't keep any of my heat things plugged in. We're going to let it cool. And then, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Voila. Now I can kind of see where maybe the roller is, that it's a little deeper red there, but it's still red. And that's just from the roller, but it's red everywhere. I can promise you that. And then I have this. Now, what I'm going to do this might not work as, okay, Kate, no problem. Thank you. Have a great night. So this is going to be great. I love this because if I look at this, I don't know if you guys can see this, but some of these are really red. Some of them are dark, almost like that mason. And then when I twist them in the light, they become the different color. So that's really fun. It is a fun. This is a Brutus Monroe deco foil called the Red Static. Then what I'm going to take is, you guys know me, I've been a big fan of this. This is just an old roll I've had forever. Scrapbook.com has double-sided rolls. I know Altenew has double-sided adhesive. There's all sorts of a double-sided adhesive out there. I think Thermoweb meets some. Some acetate is heat safe. Not all of it. Our acetate is. Okay, I'm actually going to do it this way. Now, I did this wrong last night, so hopefully I did it right. I set it down, and then I only got half of it on there because this is super, super sticky. Okay. And then I'm not going to use, well, I guess I could do this one, but I'm going to go ahead and just cut this down. Now, one thing I can tell you is once you get it cut off, you can use your anti-static powder tool to kind of, but I will tell you, this is so sticky that it actually took off some of my foam for my anti-static powder tool. So just be careful and be aware of that. It is, there are photos that you can actually use the negative. There is like black toner. Oh shoot, I was going to show you that too. I guess we're going to turn that back on. I'll put it back on the floor and show you and turn it on and heat up. Because I wanted to do that too. Okay, I've got it heating back up to floor 4. Then you can go ahead and cut it and it will be not so sticky. And I'm just going to quick do this one. I'm not going to use this one tonight. I just wanted to show you that you could do this. And then all you have to do is peel that release paper off and stick it down on a piece of paper. And I did one last night while I was watching The Men of Monroe. And this is the foil. This is the other one I foiled. Yes, we do have heat safe vellum too, and it works beautifully. You can also heat emboss with it. So here's the other one. And here is the negative on white paper. I mean, you could do this on pink paper. You could do it on I think color paper and you get that negative. And so it's just stuck to, I mean, this is a little bit more flimsy paper than this one. I was going to say, I don't know if I can get sometimes my double-sided adhesive is very finicky while I'm live, and I don't like to let you guys sit here and watch me do it, even if I use a pick tool. I do like to try to use a bigger piece of paper because I found that you don't have to worry about getting it lined up perfectly. Now, when I am not live or not recording, I do use an A2 size piece of paper to stick it to. I don't know if I can get this. There we go. Okay, so I got it peeled off. It's very sticky, so I try not to put my fingers on it at all because you can sometimes see this. I know nothing about that, but thank you, Jay. I enjoy teaching. I've been going live for Brutus Monroe for almost 3 years now. It was funny. It was just one day. Christopher's like, do you want to go live? And I'm like, sure. But look, there you go. And then I can just cut that down. Now, like I said, there is a little bit extra foil off of there, but that's just a creative opportunity to go ahead and, I mean, look, if you put something on top of it, you're never going to see it. But I kind of wanted to use the acetate tonight. Yeah, I want to show you what you can use. I do not have one handy, but does anyone know what this is? Can you recognize this? Anyone recognize this pattern? Yes, 2-for-1 foils. This is a piece from a stencil. So I cut all our 6x6 stencils down, and my friend Miss Sandy here, that's here with us. I don't know where they. Oh, here. I cut them all down and I put them in these cookie stencil binders. So like here's one of our stencils. I cut them down to fit and I save these. I save all of these. And I'm just going to take, yes, it is packaging. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this. And the reason I save them all, I mean, I throw a couple of them away, but I have a whole passel of these because that's actually fairly big and thick. I am going to, now it's been a while since I've done this, and of course we're live, so it probably won't work. I may do it twice. I'm going to run it through. It is Brutus Monroe packaging, a stencil packaging. Of course, you could use paper. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. If you get a piece of paper, a paper pack, we have beautiful paper packs, but maybe once in a while, there's just that one pattern you don't know what to do with. You can foil on top of it. Sometimes it'll foil the whole sheet. Sometimes it'll just foil some of the pattern. I've done that. I've done that when I needed glitter, when I wanted foil paper and I couldn't find in my foil packs. And so I pulled a retired piece of paper that I knew I couldn't use for design team. I mean, I could use, but like really old. Like I didn't want anyone to know that it was, you know, like it's not available anymore. Sorry. Like from when I first joined the team, and I foiled it and used it. But I'm going to run this through twice. Then we'll get to making our card. Now, the other thing you can do with this is my favorite thing on how to attach acetate is to use double-sided adhesive on the back so that you can set it down on there. Okay, we'll get this through. And the best thing about this is that you can do your die cuts, flowers, or sentiments. I mean, most sentiments. Excuse me. I know that there's some sentiments out there that are too large, obviously. Like our smile die from Create Your Own Ending. 2 years ago, that would be too big for this. But like the hello die would work and things like that. All right. Now I can already tell by looking at it that it foiled perfectly. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. See? Yep. Nope. You do not need pixie spray or foil. It's because it's black toner. So if you're not a person who saves this and puts it behind you can use the whole thing and foil a whole sheet. But I mean, look at how great that is. And now I can die cut this out and I can have hearts that match my foil. I learned that from Christopher a long time ago. So trust me, I save all of those. I mean, I have some that I cut cardstock down and put cardstock behind my stamps. But for the most part, I'm looking for some Not Your Mamas. I might have to open a new package here. For the most part, I use my packaging. Yeah, Sandy, isn't that cool? Hey, I'm not taking the credit for that. That is all Christopher Allen. I learned that from him years ago. And every time I teach somebody that, they can't believe it. So yeah, you can do a 6x6 piece of paper. All right, this is some Not Your Mamas. This is what I'm going to cut down to be my card base. Or not my card base, my card panel. So we're already at 8821, so we got to get moving here, because, you know. All right, we're going to try to make 2 cards tonight. Yeah, it does. Well, that's the red static to it. So it's not like a foil. That's the pattern in it, compared to like this one. This one's a holographic-y one. This is the one that Sean used last night, the Enchanted Rose. It's just a clear. So yeah. All right, so we've got this. We've got our little pattern here. Now you can use whatever you want to stick this down. I'm going to go ahead and put double-sided adhesive on it. So I'm sorry that I'm going to. Karen, I encourage you to try it. Like I said, I put it in. I put it in and I did it twice. Now, like I said, Pam, I cut my stencils down because I keep my stencils in a 6x6 binder and our stencil packs are too long. So I cut the back side off. Does that make sense? The bottom side off? Oh yeah, the Enchanted Rose is beautiful. It's one of my favorites. So I don't have a stencil to show you because I've already cut them all down as far as I know. Yeah, I cut them all down to fit. Oh, I have some stencils here. I cut them all down to fit. So here's one of my backers. So you can see I just cut them down and then I put them in. And then I just keep that little piece. And I just have them all kind of stacked up together inside my foil bin. Okay, we're going to kind of cut this off a little bit. I'm actually going to use my paper cutter because that's going to be faster. I cut this down where I wanted it last night, but I'm going to cut it off just a hair more just to get that extra edge off here. Okay, and then just peel it off. Stick it to the inside of my garbage can because otherwise Fletch might come and try to eat it. Because, you know, dogs, like cats, like to get into things in the craft room. Alrighty. Is Not Your Mama's mixed? It's just a heavyweight cardstock. I mean, I'm not saying you can't I don't use it for a lot of mixed media type thing. To be honest with you, Pam, I use a lot of our aqua pigment paper. And our aqua pigment paper it's kind of thin, but I don't mean it's awesome. It takes a lot of water for it. It's my favorite for when I'm using watercolors and inking and being messy. That and my Canson, of course, I have both of those. But I mean, you could play with a little piece, but I find that I don't like to get it too soaking wet, in my opinion, like you would for a mixed media type of situation. All right, just because it can pill a little bit if you get it too wet. I hope that doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean you can't put sprays and stuff on it, but it doesn't do the same thing as like watercolor paper or a mixed media paper is. And our watercolor paper comes in A2 size card panel. And I found that even though, like I said, it feels thin, it die cuts perfectly, and I'm going to stand up for this, you guys. So give me just a minute so I can eyeball that right. I love these little hearts on this. Yeah, I mean, here's so can you hear the difference? But I use this all the time. This is my main watercolor paper for pretty much everything. I think the only time I really don't use this is when I'm using my die cut machine, because I'm going to cut out a whole sheet of paper and then I use my bigger like Canson or whatever. But it's, for the most part, I only use that because then I can cut out more at a time and I don't have to sit there and make sure it's lined up perfectly. All right, this is not quite centered, so we're going to kind of go over, and all I'm doing is using the edge of my plastic. You guys have seen this, me do this before, to make sure my paper is all equal all the way around. And I'm lining up the heart section. Oops, I'm gonna have to cut that off a little bit more. That's my little trick. I just line everything up that I want to with that edge. And then when I go to cut it off, it's even. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I think you'll like it, Pam. I really do enjoy using it to watercolor. I think it, like where my image is and stuff, it just colors very nicely. All right, there is our main focus point. Now, where's my little girl here? All right, here's my little girl. I think the only thing I want to do is I want to make a little change, and I'm not sure if I have it handy, so I might not be able to. Yes. I'm going to round the corners of this a little bit, just because I don't want it to look too bought. Does that make sense? And then I think the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try it. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to grab my red Olo marker. Actually, instead of my Olos, I'm going to grab my red. This is my red Tombow marker. And I'm just going to edge the red of it. I'm going to edge this a little bit, just to give that white color, get rid of that white color. Really not going to see it much, but it's going to give you that little extra something that makes it look a little bit more special. And of course it looks a little pink, but then that white edge. There we go. Okay, so we've got that. I didn't really want to cut her down too much, but now I'm thinking it's a little square for me, so we might do that. I think I'm going to cut down just a little bit off to this side. I'm going to have to cut off that heart, and I'm going to cut I don't want to cut any of the bottom off. So I'm just going to cut off that little bit, which is going to make it just a little narrower, which is kind of cool because you could actually put it off to the side, but because I rounded the corners. My old corner rounder. Does anyone have any fun plans this weekend? I have my work Christmas party to go to. And then football Sunday, of course. So I've got that. And then we've got this piece. You know, I'm thinking that it would be fun. You could just put this piece underneath to kind of give a little bit more shine, which is very fun. And then I need, thank you. And then I think I need my sentiment. Now, I was going to do sending love. I may change my mind on this and not do a sentiment because I have an idea for the other sending love. And instead grab some of these little hearts. So I think that's what we're going to do. So let's get this down. And I'm going to go ahead and actually, I think I'm going to do most of this. I found that if I do too much of this and it's fine because I can just stick it to my glass mat on the side and then I can use it for die cutting. So let's line this up. I'm going to pivot just a little bit. Line this up right here. And then we're just going to go straight across on my glass mat. I'm super excited, you guys. Oh, Pam, that sounds good. It would be cute with that. Yes, it is. And I have that pulled. She's talking about this. No, that's lace elegant edges. I have that pulled. I actually didn't ever get to use it. It sold out before I got to really use it. And this is the one she's talking about. I think it's elaborate edges, I think is that the one you're talking about, Sandy? It was a die of the month last year. And this one would be super cute, which we could do that. Why don't we do that? I'll take your advice, Sandy, and we'll do that. Let me grab a piece of cardstock. I don't want anything super thick. What do I got here? All right. We're going to use, oh, that's too thin. Man, what's with all my really inexpensive cardstock here? There we go. I keep some pieces of inexpensive cardstock for layering. This won't work. And we'll run it through my fancy little machine here. And I am so in love with, because Sandy made me buy it. Just kidding, Sandy didn't make me buy it, but she had one along with some of my other crafty friends. And I was like, when I killed my little handy die cut machine, I had to get it. All right. Now I do have my shim in here, my metal shim in here, because this is a intricate die. I may have to run it through twice. Thank you. This is kind of my process when I do these types of things. I just go for it. See, that looks like it cut pretty good, actually. Okay. So, oh, shoot. Did you see that? I'm going to just kind of put this off to the side for now because it's got all those little hearts in it. The nice thing about this little die here, now this is an edger. So it doesn't cut this other edge here, but that's okay. This is the first time I ever used it, Sandy. And one second, let me grab something. I had to grab something else here. It does that little edge, but I can use my little thing. But look at all those little pieces. So if you got this die when it was there, please use it. If you don't, it's okay. If you don't have a die, look in your stash, see if you've got something. You don't have to do, you could do a piece of lace. You could do, if you had the lace layers, you could, or any die that has this kind of, you could just do a little edge to it and cut that out. It would work the same way. I'm a big fan of trying to see, if something is retired or out of stock and you can't get it right away and you want to use something, try to experiment and see if you can find something in your stash until you're able to either get it or like it comes back in stock, or you can find it if it's something that's retired, for example. And then just make it your own. All right. Oh, yeah, no. Oh, Sandy, then that would be me too, because I was making Walter last night, Walter last night, telling him we needed a Gemini and Sean. Okay, let's get my stick tool out. You guys don't want to sit here and watch me do this. Not worse. That's just enabling each other. We're just keeping our industry alive. So, and I saw it on Facebook. Actually, maybe I won't say anything about that right now. I'll wait till next week because I want to make sure I have all the details of what I saw so I can not tell you guys the wrong thing. What I wanted to tell you is that my Valentine's box is on the way. So my Valentine countdown box. I don't know if they've all been shipped out that have been ordered. I know mine is on the way because I'm going to be doing videos with them. Now I'm going to say mine are not going to go from day 1 through 14 in the February. Okay, mine are going to be early. So that just means if you don't want to open them and you want to do the countdown to, I'm going to go ahead and cut this down. I already glued that one piece down. So I might have to fudge this a little bit. Let's see if I can cut this just enough. I don't know if I lined that up right. It is fun to craft my stash. Actually, that's my plan tomorrow. I'm going to film a couple of videos and I want to do some stuff using my stash. Let's see if I can pull this up just a hair. And we're going to tuck that under. Oh, I just pulled that up a little bit. Now be careful. Don't do what I did. So I tore it again, but that's okay. We're going to hide it. We're just going to stick this down underneath, right up like that. And thank you for the suggestion, Sandy. I didn't put any glue behind it or anything like that. It's just there. It's got a little loosey-goosey to it, but once we go and glue this piece down, you're never going to know that I tore that piece because I'm going to hide it. We're going to just put it down. But look at how fun that is. Awesome. All right, let's get going on that. We're going to pop this little girl up here. I think she needs some pop-ups. There is a countdown, Jay, on the event page site. There is a Valentine's box that's a countdown to Valentine's Day. I can grab it if you give me a minute. I think classes. It's a Valentine's countdown box. Let me, oops, I don't want that. It's copy. I will put that in. Oh, I am going to too tomorrow. Actually, I'm taking a live class with, oh, can't post messages to some channels. Okay, I don't know where that went to, but on YouTube at least it went. Okay. It might not have gone to Facebook for some reason. That if I think I'm Facebook Live on, but it's sometimes Facebook's being dumb and doesn't let us put the links there. But it is in the comments there. But that is the countdown to the Valentine's box. And I did the Halloween Advent and the Christmas Advent calendar, and I will be doing the spring box and this Valentine's box. So I'm going to be making cards. So yeah, Pam, I'm not sure if they all shipped out or if they're shipping out this week. They were trying to get. I know Jess wanted me to have mine so I could start filming my videos right away. It was something her and I had talked about early on. Okay, so look at how cute this is. Now, what we're going to do, and what I could have done is I could have sprayed that with some of this, my Chroma Mist, my favorite Chroma Mist. I'm going to go ahead and grab and add a few little hearts here and there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do another one right here. Right here. And we're going to grab some of these. These are the ruby hearts. Now, I could totally have done a different color. We have the cream. There's the dollhouse. There's bubblegum. You know, I could have done the raven hearts, to be honest with you, which would tie in very pretty. But I think this is what I'm going to do for this card. And I'm going to leave it like that. And then, oh, I took all of my cloths. I don't have any cloths. Okay, guys, don't do this. I don't have sleeves. I'm using the end of my skirt. Shh, I didn't do that. Oh, thank you, Pam. I had a lot of fun using it. I'm going to try to make my cards not necessarily all love Valentine, but more love for any type of thing. Like you could use them for a wedding or I guess or anniversary too. But I'm going to try to incorporate them into the kit. But look at how fun this is. Now I can put this on a card base and put a sentiment on the inside. I kind of want this to be just like this. So no sentiment on the outside. And I just love it. Look at all that. So I'm going to put this one aside. And then let's get moving with my second one. I have all of this still on my desk. These are all those little hearts and pieces. I'm just going to quick put them in my little, these are little to-go containers that are supposed to be for hors d'oeuvres that I got from the dollar store. And that has that little piece of tape on the bottom. I'm going to stick the bottom of that. And I love to just have those on my desk for these little pieces because they stack. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's get moving to the next card. The next card, this is where I want to use the sending love. If I can find where I put I think this is so cute. And I think this just screams to me, sending love. So this is our inspiration piece. I am going to grab, we may use a little piece of this foil, this background foil. Too. We're going to use one of these. We're going to cut a little front mat for that. But I want a piece of cardstock. Looks like this is perfect. This looks like it's perfect blend. I'm going to trim it down to 4 1/4. It was pretty easy, pretty quick. The longest thing it took was the foiling. And then I know I linked it, and then of course I didn't grab it. So let's grab it from behind me. I linked it. This is the Heart Trims stencil. I think it is so fun. You guys know me in stencils. I'm going to go ahead and set this down. I am not going to worry too much about being perfect with this. Let's just go ahead and, oh, I just tore my magnet thingy. Okay. I'm going to just kind of Try to make sure it's straight. I'm not going to do a perfect blend with this. Let's see. I might have some tape. I don't know if this tape will stick. Okay, it might do. I'm going to just grab a color. I'm going to grab Rosy Cheeks, I think, for this one. And I got my new Make It by Marco brush stand so I can find my brushes a little easier. And we're just going to go in and we're just going to do a little fun color. Yay! Pam, that'll be great. So I just wanted to tell everyone that mine was coming and it would be coming early because some people are not Team Peak. So if they don't want to know, if they want to open it every day, you know, from the 1st of February to the 14th, I didn't want them to look and see. And I promise the only way you're going to know what the prize, what the prize is if you start the video or it kind of starts a little bit of a teaser, because I will have just a, like I did for my Halloween one, and I'm gonna grab my bee sting here too. I'm just gonna have like it'll be a heart thing that plays probably love music or something like that. Okay. So I'm just waiting on to see the post office. I'm excited to see in the morning to see where it might be, because the post office told me one day it might be here, but 9 times out of 10, the post office delivers it a different day than it actually originally tells me. So I'm not going perfect with this, and I move my stencil. So we're gonna try to move it back. All right, let's just move it back here. It's not perfect up here, and I might have moved in both directions, but all you have to do for something like this is just put it back kind of where it was. And if you have to move it a second time, move it a second time. But I don't care about this part up here. I just want this part right here. I'm just going to add a little extra. Love right down there. All right, so I got kind of an imperfect background. I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to grab my little spray. And I'm going to spray this off camera here quick, guys, just because I'm just going to mist it. So I'm just spraying the air. I'm spraying the air and then just putting my cardstock through. I showed that to you guys a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't want it all over my desk. And it just gives a hint of sparkle. Just a little hint of sparkle. That's all I want on that one. Okay. And then you won't quite see that until it dries. And then we've got this little heart thing, but I think I'm going to be a little crazy. I know, I'm trying not to, I'm pretending to not notice, because my post office lady, she's fabulous. If I don't see it moving after, you know, like if it's stuck for 3 days, if I tell her, she will go and look for it. Now I forgot I'm out of cloths and I don't know where I have all my extra cloths. So I got to grab a baby wipe because I just sprayed my desk. I washed my cloths and they're still downstairs. I forgot to bring them up. So everything is wet. But I think what I'm going to do is be a little crazy. This is a little crazy, you guys. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to tear it. And just be a little bit. I'm not going to worry about it being perfect. And then I'm going to tear a little bit. I don't necessarily want those full off corners. I'm kind of, like I said, this is kind of a weird thing for me. I've never really done things like that. I am going to just tear the whole thing. So I don't have any perfect edges. And then my heart's getting a little torn, but that's okay. It's the idea that counts. So I got kind of this crazy looking heart thing here. We're going to ink blend on it. Now you wouldn't have to do this. You could cut it down. You could die cut it. I was going to do that and I didn't. I punted and changed everything else. What did you say? Oh yes. There are, Pam, they're must-haves. This is the ornament gold. Have this, yes. The pearl I have, but it's in another part of, it's back over there somewhere. I will say this is one thing I can never live without. The pearl's great, but I actually keep the pearl aqua pigment on my desk because I use that more than the pearl spray. But it is fabulous. Ornamental golds is my favorite. And then I would say other things that I must have in your stash, in my opinion, are fairy dust embossing powder, if you're an embosser, and fallen snow glitter glaze. Those three things I can't live without. And then I do love the Perfect Blend paper because the Perfect Blend paper is just great for, it's great for blending, but I'll be honest with you, I use it for coloring completely because it's my favorite for alcohol markers. I wish I knew where my towels were so that I could dry this off. I think they're in the other room. All right, that didn't take too long. Okay, I'll just use this piece of plastic. So we've got this. We've got our little heart thing here. I did say I wanted to cut one of these little things out. I think we're going to. We're going to cut out, let's see, let's pull these out here. And I just kind of look and see what shape I like. I'm going to use this shape, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go wild and try to cut this out. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just cut the top of this off so I can save this piece of paper for some other time. And I'm going to same thing with this because this is pretty thick. This is cardstock just so it fits in my little die cut machine here. Grab my plates. And I'm going to kind of just over a little bit. Actually going to do that right about there. And I'm going to tape it. Just because I don't want it to move. And of course, I moved that die that had all those hearts in it. And now I got little pieces everywhere. Stick this down. Oop, it's a little bit wide yet. Okay. So we got to cut this off because it's a little wide for my plates. I think it would fit, but I haven't experimented with this enough yet. Pam, yes, but no. I will tell you that I've done that. It's not quite the same. I did that with the sterling because we didn't have the silver. We don't have a silver. I really need an ornamental silver. So Christopher, you're watching. I need an ornamental silver for Christmas this year. Oops, almost cut this the wrong way. But the ornament gold, that's a little thicker. So I will say, I'm not saying it's not going to work, but I will tell you that when you get ready to place an order, definitely get that. Here, let me see that. Pearl while we're waiting. I'm not sure where it's at. It's in my sprays here somewhere, but I keep them all different. Oh, pearl, there it is. Nope, that's the white. I don't see my pearl right now. I can't find it over there, so it might be on the other side of. Here it is. Here's the pearl. And they look similar, but they're different. They're a little bit different. So I would recommend, if you can, place one order for them like that. Okay, so now this didn't quite cut out perfectly, so I'm going to cut it out one more time. Yeah, I just didn't, I haven't played with it enough, Sandy, thanks, to do that. I just wasn't 100% sure if it was going to fit because it was bigger than the plates. All right. Here we go. Pull that off. And of course, you're going to have to watch me push the little doohickeys through. But this card will come together pretty quickly. That's why my room's always a crafter math, because I just throw things while I'm live. So one thing I can tell you can do, you can hit your dies like this, and some of those pieces will fall out. I don't worry about that too much because we're live. I just need to worry about this piece because I need all those little pokies. So I apologize for having to do this quick. And a lot of times I like to do it from the back side so I can see them. because they poke a little bit faster. I usually try to do things like this off camera so you guys don't have to watch it, but it's mostly done. There's one spot that didn't like me. We'll cover him up because it's gonna be behind. That'll be the top, cover up. And this piece, because I foiled it, remember this is the negative piece that I foiled and put on white. It's a little bit more distressed because the foils, some of the extra foil got to stick to the toner, which was great for me because sometimes the negative pieces do not be as perfect as it's not that piece that I wanted to be perfect. I wanted the acetate piece to be perfect. Sorry about that. I'm going to do that. But it's a little bit more distressed, but that will fit with our theme. All right. And look at this mess, you guys, I'm making. Whew. Fletcher's going to have all these little pieces to clean up off the floor. He's going to go crazy because he's a little sweetheart. So it snowed here last night and then today. And right before I went live, my boss had asked me a question and I couldn't get it fixed. So I took Fletch for a quick ride and I went back to my desk, my office quick. It's only like 2 minutes away. He loves going for rides. We come home. I thought he came running upstairs to the craft room or to my bed to sit because that's what he was doing before we left. And he wasn't. I was up here getting ready for my live and, you know, I brushed my hair and cleaned a few things up. And I went downstairs to talk to Tom for a few minutes before my live and he had a little snicker. He jumped up on the table and grabbed something I had sitting there and was trying to eat it. Yeah, I have my little bits too, Sandy, but I think it's stuck sometimes. So my little brush, sometimes the hairs pull it. I have mine sitting right over there. So I am actually going to turn this sideways for the hearts just to add some interest. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just put it off to the side. So we've got this little piece like this. And just going to add that little extra fun. Now, this is shiny, so it may not stick as well if I use glue. So let's, we're going to use both adhesive, dry adhesive, and wet adhesive. When I use glitter stalks and like acetates, I like to use both. Sometimes I will use double-sided adhesive. So where's that corner that I couldn't poke that one piece out? Because it's thicker because it's the acetate and that cardstock, this corner. So we're just going to kind of put it off to the side a little bit here. And then I'm going to grab some double-sided adhesive. Such a gorgeous dye. Yes, dye. Sorry. Sometimes it. So it is a gorgeous dye. I don't use it enough. I don't use dyes enough, to be honest with you. I love dyes. I just tend to not use them enough. It's one of the goals on my list this year, along with some more extra videos and doing some TikToks or reels, learning how to do reels because I've never really done one. Maybe figuring out a way to teach some classes or stuff like that. Something, I don't know, just to do a little, have fun with this. All right. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and stick this down a little bit right, I think about here. Oh, I didn't stick it on straight. Let's see if I got it stuck down too much. We did. But you know what? We're going to fix it. Okay, so it's not quite straight. Well, I don't know. How straight does it look? It's not straight. Actually, I don't know if it even matters so much. But what I'm going to do to fix this is we're just going to go like this. Don't freak out. We're going to just punt. We're going to cut off a corner. We're going to cut off a corner. I'm going to cut off kind of a wonky up here. And we'll cut a little wonkiness right here. I'm just going for it. You know, you don't have to be perfect. I think I might cut out this little corner off right there. I love it. It's a really weird thing. What I'm going to do for this is we're going to take that beautiful heirloom tomato cardstock. I think I have a panel like that. Let's put that away before I lose it. And I'm going to just go ahead and put that on and see. And then I'm actually going to cut it down even further. So we're going to cut down. Let's cut this down even further. I'm going to use my scissors that time. So I'm going to do is we're going to put it down. I want to put it down this way a little bit. And then we can cut the rest of that off. And we're just going to glue it. And I'm just going to go ahead and add a bunch of tape because it's just going to add a little bit of craziness. Now, this is not something, you know, that it takes sometimes a little bit for people to get used to, whether you're doing it yourself or watching other people do it. It's kind of like cutting your dies. I'm going to lay it off just a little bit. I'm actually going to grab a card base because I want to see. See, it actually would fit on a card base like this. See how fun that is? That's kind of fun. Actually, I might leave it just like that, to be honest with you. But we need our sentiment. And in my eyes, the sentiment that needs to be used with this is that sending love. Because it is sent with love. This stamp set has sent with love. It has love up in this corner. And I'm just going to do the sent with love because to me, that's what she's doing. She's sending love. So let's grab our piece of cardstock here. It's just a kind of a different card for me. I'm going to get that on a card base. We're going to grab our inks that we inked with. This would be the perfect opportunity to, you could heat emboss this with some of that fairy dust embossing powder. The Simon Hurley inks are fabulous for this, especially the Stellar inks. Because they stay wet a little bit longer, even more than the foam pads. Go ahead and we'll cut this down quick. And then we will have our card finished. So I'm going to line this up. Trim off that edge because it was kind of messy. Top and bottom. Just trim that down just enough. We've got our Scent with Love. I'm going to go ahead and pop that down right on here. I'm going to put it up just a little bit. Let's get this on a card base first. That was not the proper card base for that. So I think you could add some pigment ink to this heirloom tomato in the corners to give it a little bit even more funkiness if you really wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and just line this up because it's going to actually line up almost perfect with the top and bottom. So the only piece that I got to trim is this little piece right here. And then it's got that piece and it looks off on purpose. And then I'm going to add this right here. And actually, I think what I'm, set that down, I almost dropped it. I'm going to go ahead and set this down like this. And what I'll do is grab this piece of foam tape and I can stick this underneath. And it will just fit underneath right there to kind of pull that up. And then we get a few of these little hearts. Again, I'm going to put one right on top of that piece. And we have another fun little card that is a little bit more kind of crazy looky-loo. I love that that little heart that I have is perfect. It fits right inside that little heart there. One, two, three, four, and then here's number 5. And we have, and then I'm going to flip this over because there's a little bit, and we're going to just trim this off so that it all looks the same. And now I can send this to my loved one. And we got all that extra fun cement and dimension. Look at how fun. I mean, it's so unconventional, but it's fun. And nobody's going to have a card like that. So here are our 2 cards tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, play with your stash. Don't be afraid to change things up as things go and play and experiment. It's the funnest part, I think, about making cards, because sometimes when I do something like this is not something I normally do. I end up loving them. I'll come back tomorrow and be like, oh my gosh, this one's got a special place in my heart, only because this is totally my daughter. But this is so fun too, because I could send this to one of my family members who is away, or a family, somebody else who I love that I don't get to see often, and send them a love card. So I hope that was all great. I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend. Thank you very much. Here, I'll bring those up a little bit closer so you can kind of see. I don't know if you can see that little bit of, you can't see the sparkle except in person, I think. Sparkle doesn't like to. But please check out the Perfect Pairs release and stay tuned for next week. We got a bunch of stuff going on, and have a great evening.